And Maldives' ambassador to India has said that India was the first stop planned for a visit by a special envoy of the Maldivian president. But they were told that this would not be possible at the time. "We are hurt," he told NDTV's Bhairavi Singh in an exclusive interview.
Well, India has said that it's watching the crisis in the Maldives very closely, but we haven't heard the stated position of the government so far. Joining us to talk a little bit more about what exactly is happening in the island nation is the ambassador himself to India. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Sir, we've heard that there's been much talk about what is happening, and of course the fact that initially we were thinking that you did not send a special envoy to India and they are being sent to China, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. But now, your government has said that, well, India has declined this request. Do you want to clarify on that?
Yes, we have made the request to India first. We follow the India First policy, and we are very serious about the India First policy and sensitive to it. Therefore, we made that request yesterday, that a special envoy of the president will be visiting with his delegation today, and requested for meeting with the External Affairs Minister. And if she is not available, arrange a meeting at an appropriate level with the state ministers, and it is fine with us. And if there is time, and if it is convenient for the Prime Minister to have a meeting, for the special envoy to call on the Prime Minister, we would also be grateful if that could be arranged. So as we have always stated on the India First policy, we made that request to India.
But some would say that, the Prime Minister is flying out tomorrow, Sushma Swaraj, the Minister, is not here. So it could have been on short notice and therefore it's been delayed.
Well, it is a short notice, but in situations like this, where we take matters seriously and we follow our stated policies, the request was made. So India was not omitted on the list.
What do you make of the current, stated position of the government in India? It's saying that it's concerned, it's monitoring the situation closely. But as you're pointing out that we follow an India First policy, but we haven't been, reciprocated. So are you disappointed?
India has expressed its concern in the media advisories that came out. And that is the more reason why we should be reaching out to India and coming here, meet the officials, senior officials, and explain to them the situation in Maldives.
So what sort of role would you expect India to play in the current situation? The fact that you wanted the special envoy to meet, senior officials here, including the foreign minister. There are also reports in the media that, India is on standby with, para commandos, the Air Force is on standby. What do you make of it, and what would be the role that you expect India to play?
We expect India and our neighbors and our friendly countries to be engaged with us. Expressing concerns is on while it is on one front, the second front is to be engaged and know better what is the situation that is going on. With regard to the media reports that has come out that troops are preparing to come to Maldives, I don't think that is an official position of India. And we believe that it is not an official position of India. If it was, we would have been communicated of that. It's just a media reporting or speculation by some people.
There are some in India who believe that there are concerns about China's growing role in the Maldives, and that, one has to carefully watch that as well, and that the Maldives is moving closer to China than to India. Would you like to say something on that, clarify that position? What do you feel is the current situation?
We have said many times, and even the MEA spokesperson has said many times, and many senior officials of the Indian government has said many times, that Maldives-India relationship is independent of the relationship both of us, both nations, have with any other country. And for various reasons, we have been traditional, civilizational time immemorial brothers, if I could say so. Even before the independence, even before the official diplomatic relations established. And that is to continue. And if there is growing influence of China as a perceived perspective, then India should play that role. India should reach out to Maldives more often.
You feel that India should also play a more proactive role as China is?
More than China. India should play a better role in Maldives than any other country, because we are neighbors,
right,
and we have been friends.
Right, and so, sources are also indicating that, and not just sources, I mean, the international community, there is immense pressure on the Maldives right now, even by India, which has said that democratic institutions must be respected, the judiciary must be respected. What is the current situation in the Maldives?
The current situation today and the situation when it started recently on 1st of February has remained the same. The normal life, daily life goes on, even after the declaration of the state of emergency. Business is continuing as usual. Movement of people is not restricted. The airports are operating, schools are operating.
But can this emergency not be revoked, the fact that the Supreme Court has now reversed its order?
That is a decision that the government of Maldives will take. I wouldn't be able to comment on that when, but it has given, a period has been defined already, 15 days. Hopefully, even much before the 15 days, I don't know. I can't say the Maldives government will decide this and that because I'm not, while sitting here, I'm not privy to the various discussions that are going on in Maldives.
So also lastly, three judges of the Supreme Court have reversed the order. 2 other judges, the Chief Justice is still under suspension. Is that something that can be revoked also? There are immense concerns that, the judiciary has been completely sidelined in this. So as for the hope for the international community, which is also reaching out to you, do you think that that is going to happen in the next couple of days?
Well, no one is above the law. Even the judiciary, the executive, the parliament, all 3 independent powers of a state should never go above the law. They should remain within the limitations and provisions of the law. And if someone, whether it is a high-ranking official, a chief justice, the speaker of the Majlis, or the president, they all should follow the rule of law. And whether someone else is concerned, it's not. It's a matter for the people of Maldives. It's a matter for the state of the Maldives that we should continue to follow the rule of law.
But lastly, sir, what do you think the people of Maldives want? I mean, the will of the people should be followed. But as the former President Nasheed has said many times in tweets now to India to reach out and to also do a military intervention. He's constantly telling India for a military intervention. He was democratically elected. What is your government's position on that?
I can't say this is the government's position, but my personal position is very foolish. It's high treason.
Okay. All right, Ambassador. Thank you very much for talking to us, clarifying to us what the Maldives position was, and you're hoping that India reaches out very soon, and also there is some talk between the foreign ministers and of course the Prime Minister. Thank you very much for talking to us. With camera person Kanan Patra, Bhairavi Singh, NDTV.